During the summertime, many anglers often struggle, and the big reason for it isn't what you think. It's not so much the heat as a simple mistake that many anglers make that can really cost you bites, especially during the summertime. We're going to look at what it is and an easy way to fix it. Stick around. We're going to talk all about it. There we go, I got him. Heading torpedo strikes first. Not a bad one either. Heading torpedo strikes first. Ooh, where you going, buddy? Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing, and today we're talking about fishing in the dead of summer when it's the absolute hottest. It's miserable outside, there's a whole bunch of fishing pressure, the lakes are crowded, and it's just not a lot of fun. For a lot of anglers, it's their least favorite time of year to go fishing. In the wintertime, even when it's biting cold and you've got all that wind, you can always put more clothes on. You can always wrap another layer around you and you can get through it that way. But in the summertime, there's a definite limit to what you can take off before people start noticing. So how can we catch more fish during the summer? Well, there's a couple of mistakes that most anglers make, and these are reasonable mistakes, but they're mistakes nonetheless. Those are the two biggest things that hold us back, that turn summer into a real slugfest, a real grind. And I'm telling you what, once you get past these two things, and it seems kind of counterintuitive, but I'm telling you, it really works. It goes from having a grind of a day to catching a lot more fish. And catching fish is a great cure against the heat. You forget all about it. But before we get started, if you like what I do here, click that subscribe button down below and give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. And hey, over on my Patreon, I'm putting polls up to allow my Patreon members to choose the parts I'm putting on my boat. I'm changing a lot of things, the seats, the steering wheel, and a whole bunch of other things. And I'm putting polls up allowing you guys to pick which ones I install on the boat. The ones that win are the ones that I install. Check it out. It's over on my Patreon. The link is down in the description. So, fishing in the middle of summer. Absolutely miserable for a lot of guys. And there's something that seems counterintuitive, but it really does work. See, the most amount of fishing pressure doesn't happen during the day. It happens early in the morning before sunup, and it happens in the evening. The fish get accustomed to this. They know when they're going to see all those lures and hear all the boat traffic and see all the noise and all of that. And while there's some bites to be had for sure, and it's definitely more comfortable outside, a lot of times it's when there's the most pressure and it's the hardest time to get bites. You say, well, bro, that seems counterproductive. Are you saying going out in the middle of the day during the heat of the summer can be the best? Absolutely yes. In the middle of the summer, I go out during the heat of the day. I don't hit the water until 10 a.m. and I'm usually on the water till about 4 or 5. And I have found that's when I get the most bites. And it's crazy. I know it sounds really crazy. You've been taught your entire life, go in the morning, go in the morning. But I get way more bites in the heat of the day. It can be bluebird skies. It can be just as hot as it can be, slick calm on the water, and I'm getting bites because I'm the only one out there. Nobody else is around me. The fish have kind of relaxed a bit because all that fishing pressure has died down. Fishing pressure in waves means that the bass react in waves. And one of the things that I've noticed with my electronics on my fancy new 35-year-old bass boat is something that it's been telling me that I've known for a long time. The bass, even in deeper water, aren't especially deep. They're about 5 to 10 feet down, along with those huge balls of bait that they're chasing around. And I get out there and I see just how active it is. There's fish splashing, there's bass busting and roiling all across the water. And it happens that way all day. but it dies down at sunset. Every single time, whenever I see more bass boats coming out later in the evening, 4 and 5 o'clock, as I'm heading back into the boat ramp and I'm watching all the bass boats come back out, all that busting stops. Every bit of it. It shuts right off because those bass know what's coming. And whenever I go out to the water, whenever I'm motoring out to the spot that I want to get to, like I said, there's nobody else out there. I'm the one who's out there by myself. It's crazy. I get to fish by myself without having to worry about anybody else. I get all the spots, all the water that I want to. And it doesn't matter if I'm working the bank or if I'm out in the middle. I have all the water that I want to. If you're a bank angler, you have unrestricted access to the spots that you want to go to. I don't see anybody fishing from the bank. I see people as the evening approaches walking out, but not so much during the day. So as crazy as it sounds, going out in the heat of the day, high noon, bluebird skies, that's when I'm actually having the most success. The bass are higher up in the water column and they're actively feeding, which translates to more bites and less fishing pressure. Now, the next biggest thing that we do as anglers that really holds us back, past history. We think, okay, last summer I was tearing them up on a crankbait. I had a square bill, I had a 6XD, I had whatever, lipless crankbait or whatever, and I was just tearing them up. So you go out there, you fish those crankbaits, and you get nothing. You say, okay, well, maybe they're just not biting. Maybe there's not any fish in the area. So you leave, you come back, and you fish the same exact things because this is what worked last year. But fish change from year to year. If it's one thing being a YouTuber has taught me, is that every single year is a completely new experience. Sometimes older lures come back into play. Sometimes the newest thing on the market is what you want to have. But every single year is completely different. Last year at this time, I was killing them on a KVD square bill, on something like a Bandit 200 or a Bandit 300 or a Strike King 6XD. All of those types of crankbaits, that's what I threw all day. I had my crankbait rod in my hands, and it doesn't matter if I was shallow. I could be in 5 or 8 feet of water, and I'm still burning those crankbaits and getting nice bites. You can go back and look at the videos I did this time last year, and you can see that for yourself. This year, not so much at all. I've been able to nab a couple of crankbait fish here and there, but not even remotely enough to do anything about a video on. They've been so few and far between. What I've been killing them on this year, actually, is topwater. And if you look at the videos, you can see, okay, there's a lot of topwater videos this year that Lowbrow's doing because that's what's working for me. And it's not just any kind of topwater. It's not just go out there and throw a spook and cover water. Well, that's a lot of fun. I've had to change things up to finesse types of topwater. And that's exactly what's been killing it the last time I went out to the water, which is something like this guy right here. Good old Heddon Baby Torpedo. This is the smaller one. I'm throwing this on a finesse system. And this is, we're going to talk about this, is important because I've got an upcoming video that has to do with this reel and something else that you guys are going to want to see. But I've just got this 10-pound braid to an 8-pound coal poly leader. And when I'm working it, I'm not doing a straight retrieve. I've talked about that before. I pop it and I jerk it. A couple of cranks, pop and jerk. Very helter-skelter. Very much like a bait fish that's in trouble, a bait fish that's dying, a bait fish that is just trying to survive, yet getting tired. And I get crushed. I absolutely get crushed. As a matter of fact, when I tied this thing on and I made first cast right off of the side of the boat, this was the result. There we go, I got him. Heddon Torpedo strikes first. Not a bad one either. Heddon Torpedo strikes first. Ooh, where you going, buddy? Come here. Nope. Alright, Heddon Torpedo strikes first. Finesse. finesse spinner. Pound and a half, a little bit north than a pound and a half. Nice, beautiful fish. Did that on the black heading torpedo. These bass are busting like crazy out here. Let's see if we can't keep that going. Appreciate it, dude. That was a really nice fish, and it didn't take long. And you know, it happened like that pretty much most of the day. Whether I was in deeper water, whether I was in more shallow water, it didn't matter. Like I said, the electronics were only telling me something I could already see with my own eyes, something I already knew. Remember, these are your most important tools when you're out on your water, your forward-facing sunglasses. Learn how to use them, catch more fish. But I said I was going to do something with that spinning setup that you guys wanted to see. And that is, the fine folks over at KastKing sent me this. This is my very first BFS setup. I've never fished Baitcast Finesse system before. This is the very first one. This is a KastKing Kestrel. And it's a very light setup. This thing weighs absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I've had it for a few days, and I'm beginning to figure it out. Before I do a video on this thing and do a comparison between this and a finesse spinner setup to see which one is actually better, I want to get familiar with this. And yes, it's a left-handed reel. And before you guys point anything out and say, hey, Lowbrow, that's a left-handed reel, I wanted a left-handed reel. I'm proficient with both left and right-handed reels. All good anglers are. And the reason that is because I can make casts to the left of me and casts to the right of me and not have a problem doing it. I can catch fish up under brush, around slop. It's a great tool to have, especially from a boat. If you're fishing from a boat and you're not proficient with a left-handed or right-handed reel, it's something you really need to work on. It's a great skill to have. I'm not that good with BFS, so before I do a proper review on the thing, I do want to put some time in, make sure that I'm using it properly. And that's going to be a little bit of a process, but I've pretty much got it figured out. I know so far things I like and a couple of things that I don't like, but stay tuned for that video. It's going to be a comparison, BFS versus spinning combo. Which one actually is better? But these are simple mistakes that you can readily fix. Sure, going out in the middle of the day, that's going to be the hardest one, isn't it? Especially if you're older, especially if you're old and retired and you live in the areas that I live, where heat has its own definition. It's its own life force here. If you've not been to South Mississippi and experienced the heat that we have here, if you're from Arizona or New Mexico or Southern California, you will die here. I've had people that try, because not only are the temperatures above 100 and 105 degrees on average, we also have 90-95% humidity all the time. That's the kicker. So going out during the day, that can be supremely rough. But on days when you have maybe just a little bit of breeze, trust me, that makes everything so much easier and so much more bearable. So bring plenty of liquids with you, not just water. Make sure you stay hydrated. I like those Gatorade packets that I pour in the water, or whatever brand it is. Those work well for me. But that's the biggest thing. The second thing, ignore past history. Find out what those bass are doing now. It's a week-to-week, day-to-day basis. And just because something worked last year does not mean it's going to work this year. You have to pay attention to what those bass want. And sometimes it can be very surprising. I'm throwing topwater at high noon when it's 100 degrees out and slick, calm water, and I'm getting bites. So I'm not going to argue with the bass. They tell me what they want. I'm going to try to listen to them on the first time. So there you have it. My keys to fishing during the dead of summer. It may not be the easiest thing, but it will get you more bites. I'm telling you, listen to what those fish say, watch what they're doing, and you will be rewarded with some really good days, even when it's muggy and miserable outside. So if you can brave the heat, you can catch some really nice fish. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.